All right. Excellent, everybody. All right. So at this point, I'd like to welcome our guest speaker for the evening. Is Tim Duffy, K3LR from DXengineering. And Tim is here to talk to us about the superstation, which is a very exciting topic and one that I've been looking forward to for a while. So, Tim, over to you.
Thanks very much. And thank you for the introduction. And great to speak to Vienna Wireless. This is a great club, and we're going to talk about the K3LR station tonight. All right, so we're going to talk about K3LR, which is one of the largest stations in the world, actually, as we've been doing multi contesting since 1992. Multi means multiple transmitters with multiple operators. And this is me when I was 13 years old, not too long ago. I had just passed my general test and operating CW, and CW is still my most favorite mode of operation. I was licensed when I was 12, but and then extra at 14 years old. K3LR is located in the very western part of Pennsylvania, and I am equidistant to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Erie, and Akron, Ohio. And you can find out a lot of information about the K3LR station by going to my website, which is k3lr.com. There are great drone videos and lots of photos and lots of information on k3lr.com. If you happen to be traveling on Interstate 80, you can see the station. It's very easy to see. There's 14 towers here, and it is right on the south side of Interstate 80, 1 mile from the Ohio border. And the real secret to this QTH is the fact that there's a steep drop-off to a riverbed towards Europe and Japan. And for DX contesting, Europe and Japan are two very important directions. And so we enjoy a very enhanced takeoff angle going to Europe and Japan because of that extreme fall-off. In the north of the property is the 160-meter transmit array, and we'll get more into that. Also in the middle here is the two foursquares that are on 80 meters, and that's a phased array aimed at Europe and also into the South Pacific, and also a very large tower on 40 meters. In the middle of the property is the 15-meter stack, the 10-meter stack, and also the large 20-meter tower. So let's take a look at the 40-meter tower here at K3LR. On top of it is a large 10-meter Yagi, and then 3 full-size 4-element Yagis on 40 meters. And these Yagis on 40 weigh 410 pounds each. And you notice they're on ring rotators, so they can rotate around the side of the towers. They are 25 square feet each, and this is the largest 40-meter antenna array in the world. And it works extremely well, 260 feet over 190 feet over 120 feet. A view of the 40-meter tower from my neighbor's house, and I've got close-in neighbors, but they're all very cool about ham radio. Another view of the large 40-meter tower, showing all the antennas, and some 10-meter Yagis on the side here as well that we use for the second station. There are 11 operating positions here at K3LR. 2 on 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters, and 1 on 160 meters. And for 160, here's one of the receive antennas. This is actually a horizontal Waller flag. It's a rotatable 160 meter receiving antenna, and sometimes it's the best antenna that we have on 160. And taking a look up, you can see just how busy all these antennas are on the 40 meter tower. And going to 20 meters, there's an 80 meter dipole on top of the tower, on top of the mast. It's about 108 feet long, and these are actually steps that allow us to climb up to that. And then we have 4 6-element 20-meter Yagis on this tower. Taking a look down the tower, here's another one of the 6-element 20-meter Yagis. Another one here. It's 230 over 170 over 110 over 50 feet. And in the middle of this tower are 2 element Moxons for 40 meters. And these are about 46-foot elements. And you can see the T elements here. This is the Moxon. And this is used for the second station on 40 meters. And taking a look up at the busy 20-meter tower, again, these ring rotators allow the antennas to rotate around the face of the tower. And the 10-meter tower showing 8-element Yagis. There are 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 down here, starting at 135 feet, 32 elements on 10 meters. And now with the sunspot cycle, it's very good. And 15 meters has 4 7-element Yagis, 1, 2, 3, 4 on 15. And on the top of this mast is a 10-element 6-meter Yagi that is used primarily for noise finding, but also some sporadic E during the summer months as well. In 2018, we rebuilt the 20-meter tower. And so this is the old tower here. This is the new tower, nice and newly painted. And the 100-ton crane that came in to do the work. And here we're constructing the 20-meter tower again in 2018 with the ring rotators or the side-mounted antennas. And the top of the tower, all of the towers here are Pyrod towers, which is solid legs, not pipe, solid legs, very strong. And the DXengineering 3-inch thrust fairing at the top, but you can see the really robust construction of the tower. And here's 2 of the 4 20-meter Yagis, and notice that this is the reflector back here. These are the reflectors, and then the driven element. And the first director is very close to the driven element, and that is known as the optimized wideband array. And go more into that here in a minute. And taking the top 20-meter Yagi to the top of the tower, and then putting the 20-meter Yagi into position. Again, here are the steps that allow us to get up to that 80-meter dipole. And being able to look at the Rig Expert VSWR remotely via Bluetooth as we check the top antenna. This is the driven element on the 40-meter Yagi. This is 2.5 inches outside diameter. And red means that's where the center conductor goes. And then the shield will go over here. So center conductor over here. And we call this right on red. When you're on the tower, all of the driven elements have the center conductors to the coax on the right side. That's very important from a phasing standpoint. And taking a look at the center 2 elements on the 40-meter Yagi, you can see here, these elements are almost 75 feet long. So they do droop a little bit. It's not very much. And you can see the trucks going by on Interstate 80 here. Here's the first director, again, the optimized wideband array that allows us to feed this just like a dipole and with an RF bead choke. And here's the full 4-element 40-meter Yagi. You can see with the 50-foot boom ready to go. And in 2019, we replaced the 3 40-meter Yagis with a new design and new mechanicals. And so we brought in that 100-ton crane again. And here's the top 40-meter Yagi going into position. Everything looking good. This is the one of 4 geochrons we have here in the shack. This is an 84-inch HD 4K TV. But knowing where the sun is rising and setting is very important for DX contests. We use large hardline here at K3LR to make sure that the losses stay less than 1 dB on every band. The 160-meter transmit array, it starts out as a 120-foot vertical tower that is base insulated, and then around it are 4 parasitic wires, and the parasitics can be configured as directors, reflectors, or floating. And in this case, the right-hand yellow element, we're going to go towards Europe, so we're going to ground this, which makes this a director. The other yellow element, we're going to put a small inductor in series with it. That makes it a reflector connected to ground, and then the 2 blues are going to float. That gives us a 3-element parasitic vertical Yagi towards Europe. And by using relays at the bottom of these parasitic elements, we can shoot this in 4 different directions, over 5 dB of gain and 30 dB of front to back. This is the base of one of the vertical T-wires, 120 radials underneath, and then the driven element tower with the ceramic broadcast insulator and 300 radials underneath. And 1 5/8" feeding the 160-meter array because it is 1,500 feet away from the shack. The radial system for the 80-meter verticals, there are 8 of them, 2 4-squares, and broadcast style here, showing the 4 center elements. And again, you can see the attention to detail to make sure that everything is well grounded. And here 2 years ago, we replaced all the steel towers with new aluminum towers. And these aluminum towers for the vertical elements were all welded together so that there is no chance for any resistance between the sections. And tuning the top stingers to make sure that every one of these verticals is on the same resonant frequency. And you can see the radial systems here underneath the new aluminum verticals and the DXengineering custom designed insulators. Here's 4 of the 8 towers that are involved in the 2 4-squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. And tuning by using the lift with using VNAs. And feeding these systems with the Comtech Systems switch box. So we get 4 directions. We also have 4 squares on 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters. Here's the one on 15 meters. For receiving here at K3LR, we use the high Z 8 circle and also a high Z 4 square, but these are 23-foot verticals that are in a phased array. And this is the center phasing box. You can see here's one of the 23-foot verticals back here and also over here. eight verticals, 23 feet each. And then inside is the phasing systems that allow a directional pattern using chokes to make sure that everything is dead cold. Here I am with my good friend Tim, W3YQ. We've been friends for over 50 years. We met on 80 meters, and he now lives 1 mile away from here, which is just fabulous. Tremendous friendships through ham radio. More wiring of the chokes and the phasing systems. Here's the base of one of the 23-foot verticals. 2 ground rods, that's all that it takes, and 2 chokes with the buffer amplifier. And here's all the buffer amplifiers that are needed for the system inside the choke boxes. This is 26 turns of 75 ohm cable on a number 31 ferrite. Very high common mode impedance. The house at K3LR was built in 1865. It's been fully renovated by myself here over the last 38 years, and everything has been added to this house. When it was built, it didn't have running water, didn't have electricity, didn't have air conditioning or natural gas, but it's got all those things now, including a world-class amateur radio station. We have our own 50 kilowatt power transformer from the Pennsylvania Power Company. If that fails, we have a 50 kilowatt Kohler generator. This is an 8-cylinder Chevy engine running on natural gas. It comes on 7 seconds after a power mains outage. The shack at K3LR, 11 operating positions. You can see here 2 of the operating positions. This is 80 meters, the run and the search and pounce, and then also the 160 meter position is right here. 2 entrances for the coax cables to come in. This is the southeast with all the hardline coming in, and the northeast with more hardline and control cables. In the floor, right underneath the operator's positions, are 13 ground rods. So we have a very good connection to ground. We have great operators here at K3LR. K1DG, who has written many books for amateur radio, as well as Ward Silver, N0AX, who is the chief editor of the ARRL handbook and the ARRL antenna book, operating in the DXCW contest. And in the phone contest, they have the boom microphones on 15 meters, more 15 meters with N6MJ from Los Angeles. And this is the second station on 10 meters with the 4 rotator boxes and separate amplifiers, computer logging, etc. And antenna switch boxes are all custom designed. For instance, we talked about that 40-meter tower has 3 Yagis at 260, 190, and 120. So all 3 are being fed at this time. And the operator can select 1 or 2 or all 3. 15 meters has the 4 Yagis that we talked about. There's 7-element Yagis, and it allows switching here. And here are the 2 operators on 15 meters, N6TV and N6AN, and they have to work together because only one transmitter can be on the air at once, and there is a lockout box that makes sure that only one transmitter is on the air. 15 run, in this case, they're feeding the bottom 3 antennas, which is known as bot 3, so 120 over 80 over 40. And also they have this also on the watt meter, so they have a heads-up display. I like the Drake W4 watt meters, but we wore out the SO239, so new Teflon SO239s. And size does matter. These are the 3 rotor boxes for the 3 huge 40-meter Yagis. except for one amplifier, all of the amplifiers are single band amplifiers that I designed. And this is the one for 15 meters and single 8877, 1500 watts output. And each one of the amplifiers has its own 4,000 volt power supply. This is the run position for 20 meters. And here you've got the two run stations, two amplifiers, two computers, two sets of antennas, side by side. Over here is the run station calling CQ, and over here is the multiplier station looking for others that are calling CQ. Two stations on 10 meters, 160 meters, lots of receive antennas. I operate the CW position during the DX contests, and John N2NC does the phone work on 160 meters. The horizontal Waller flag control, also the DXengineering noise canceling controller, very important for phasing receive antennas together. We use the Bose QC15s, very important to have noise canceling headsets. Also using the ICOM IC7851 at every position, outstanding radio, high reliability, and great ergonomics and great performance. Here's Al N5UM, who operates with me on 75 meters on phone, and Al taking a little nap. You can also see that our new Nook computers that have been here for about 4 years now, that have replaced all the desktops, full Windows computer, very small, 4 inches by 4 inches by about 1.5 inches thick, and running on 13.8 volts and RFI quiet. Another view of the Nook computer and the 80 meter XL twin turbo plus 2, which allows us to share the 4 squares between the two 80 meter stations, and high power harmonic filters to knock down harmonics on 80, 40, and 20 meters. And when the operators are not operating, they are hanging out in the DX barn, and that's DX gas. I found this sign down in Oklahoma and moved it up here to Western Pennsylvania. And at the end of every contest, we turn on the DX sign. And inside the DX barn is sleeping for 8, as well as a kitchen and restrooms, shower, etc. Allows the operators to relax. And operators having fun at K3LR, Andy N2NT and John VE3EJ, 2 of the best in the world at CW contesting. Andy and John K1AR, who is chairman of the CQ Worldwide contest, operating phone at K3LR. And Dave, KM3T, taking a break at K3LR, probably about 3:30 in the morning, listening to 20 meters. We use the DXengineering foot switches for PTT on SSB. And here is our lockout box for our run and mult stations to make sure that only one transmitter is on the air at a time. And you can see here the aluminum box. This shows the mult station operator what the status of the run station is. When the red light is on, that means he will be locked out. And when it's off, he will be able to transmit. And the controls for the multiplier station showing BIP both in phase or BOP both out of phase. Operators having fun at K3LR. And here's Otis NP4G, who went to Bouvet Island. And George N3GJ, a longtime operator here, Otis having fun in the ARRL contest, and he'll be back here in a few weeks for the CQ Worldwide. And they won't have any time to be goofing around on 10 meters because 10 will be hot. And Phil, K3UA, and also Justin, G4TSH on 80 meters. Justin likes to come and operate the CQ Worldwide contest here. And here you can see most all of the positions are manned. 40 meters here with John, N2NC and W2RQ, 80 meters, 160, 15 meters back here, 10 meters over here, 20 meters over here. I'm very proactive on youth operating here. This is Bryant, KG5HVO, and Violetta, KM4ATT in the 2019 CQWPX contest. And BE7DZO and K6JO, they operated the WPX contest. All of the operating was done by these youth operators, and they had never operated together before. And this is one of many youth events that have occurred here at K3LR. These 6 youth operators, they thought they would be doing good to make 3,800 contacts. And that was their plan. At the end of 48 hours in the multi-2 category, they had worked over 6,000 contacts. That was good for number 1 in the US, number 1 in North America, and number 4 worldwide. I also hope I host K2M here every year. This is Michael, W3MLJ, running stations on 20 meters as Kilo 2 Mike during the 13 Colonies event. We get visitors from all over the world. Here's a visitor from Finland. And here's, we're talking about Riley, K4ZDH, who will be your speaker, I think, next month. He is visited here at K3LR along with Hal, W8HC. Riley gave the K3LR the white glove treatment and said we passed with flying colors. We keep track of all our statistics, make sure that we know how many countries we've worked, how many multipliers we've worked, how many QSOs we've worked, and how we stack up against our competition. We also contribute to the CW reverse beacon network by using the CW skimmers. These are the skimmer computers and the skimmer receivers, which are 6 Perseus SDRs. We use lots of ferrite here at K3LR to keep the noise low, and all analog power supplies. There are no switching power supplies, no no chargers, no anything that is a switching power supply. That keeps the noise floor very low here at K3LR. We make coffee 1 cup at a time. It takes a lot to fuel a multi, 12, 13, 14 guys for a weekend. We have our chef Sal, WM2H from Houston, Texas, who takes care of us during the weekend, likes to smoke the filet mignon on the smoker and make sure that we're well fed. And chef takes care of everybody, making sure that we have stuff to eat as well as breakfast. N2NC makes breakfasts on phone, and I take care of the breakfasts on CW, and the operators eat while they contest. We use WindTest as our logging software, written by French rocket scientists. Here's an example of the screen, and working some JAs on 160 meters. And nice, it keeps track of our score. This was a few years ago. I expect that we'll get close to that this year in the CQ Worldwide. 13,000 QSOs would certainly be very possible. I'm a voracious QSLer. We send QSL cards to everyone that we work, DX-wise. And I also like T-shirts, Team K3LR and CW. After the contest, we trade scores on 3830 on 75 meters with other multi-op stations such as NR4M, W3LPL, KC1XX, K1LZ. Sometimes we win a plaque. We also compete in the RTTY contests. This is a typical crew photo. We take a group photo at the end of dinner every year. And this was in 2017. And Sal brought along his girlfriend, Liv, and ILTHRS. I love this ham radio stuff. 2014 crew with N6MJ, KL9A, who were gold medal winners in Boston at WRTC, but operators from all over the world that come here to operate at K3LR. N6AN from Los Angeles, California, K5GN from Houston, Texas, N6TV from San Jose, K1TO from Florida, operating and having a great time because we're best friends. And I've known some of these guys for 50 years. And it's incredible every time we operate one of these contests together. I'm also very proud of the fact that we have tours here at K3LR on the weekends. This is the University of Pittsburgh Pitt Panther W3OYI students that are the amateur radio club at Pitt, along with their faculty advisor. They came and toured K3LR, and we do this a lot here. It is one of the ways to give back. As I said, I'm very proactive with youth. And so we do have tours here on the weekends that are not contests, so that people can get inspired and can see this great amateur radio station.
All right. Well, Tim, this has been a fantastic presentation. We all have tower jealousy now, and antenna jealousy, station jealousy. Fantastic. Really, really appreciate you spending the time with us, both here in the room and on Zoom. We also are proud of our calories per QSO. I don't know if that's a statistic you keep or not, but one we're very proud of, and so we understand that that's a big part of the camaraderie of this contest. And we do our field day stations, which obviously are de minimis compared to your operation, but we have a little sense of it when we set those up for the weekend. So thanks very much, Tim. Everybody.
Well, thanks very much for having me this evening. It's been a real pleasure to talk to the club, and you don't have to have a station like this to have fun with ham radio. I started out with wires and a small tri-bander, and I've been having fun with ham radio ever since. And to those of you who are DXengineering customers, thanks so much for your business and your trust. And if you have trouble, now you know the CEO.
What I was going to say, if you're not a DXengineering customer, you're just wrong.